Nigerian pastor's secret has shocked the whole world. Pastor Kenneth Ikechukwu Agbaka is the general overseer of a church known as Kingdom of Heaven Ministry. This pastor's action has shocked even the people that don't believe in church. They are still in shock. They cannot believe that a man who is revered by his followers could act in this way. There are valuable lessons that can be learned from the story of Pastor Ikechukwu Kenneth Agbaka. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday from wherever you're joining us from. This is the Launch Club where we share the latest update to inform and educate our audience. We believe that there is no substitute to information. That is why we always bring the latest update. If you see any value in this afternoon's content, you can support our work by giving this video a like, share, so that people can learn. A lot of us have pastors that we hold in high regard. Pastors that when we are going through difficult times, some of us run to them for spiritual guidance and prayers and direction. Sit back while we dive into the story of Pastor Ikechukwu. Pastor Ikechukwu got married to his wife Mona in 2019. Everyone thought this was a happy relationship. Because the pastor is the general overseer of his church, there is a special chair reserved for this pastor. And there is also a special chair reserved for the wife, who is regarded as Mommy Jill, as we normally call the wife of pastors in Nigeria and other African countries. The image that Pastor Ikechukwu and Mommy Jill painted to the whole church and the world is that this is a perfect relationship. When people have problems in their relationship, the first people that will approach is Pastor Ikechukwu or Mommy Jill for advice. When they are thinking of quitting their relationship, the first thing that comes to their mind is, let us rush to Mommy Jill for advice. Sit back. You are going to be shocked when you find out the time bomb that I'm about to drop about this pastor. Mommy Jill was introduced to someone who lives in the UK, as it has been reported. This person who lives in the UK was having trouble, and somebody gave her the contact number of Mommy Jill Mona. See, Mommy Jill can pray with you if you have problem. And this person that lives abroad, her name is Brenda. So whenever Brenda has problems, she will call Mommy Jill, and Mommy Jill will pray for her. After some time, Mommy Jill then introduced Brenda to her husband. She did it from a place of love because she wanted her husband to mentor Brenda. Report has it that Brenda is somebody that comes from a Christian home. Her dream before she left for the UK was to become a pastor herself. So when she was introduced to this pastor then said, I will mentor you. That whenever you have any problem, I will be the one that is guiding you so that eventually you will then become a pastor in the future. That was the deal. And Mommy Jill introduced this woman to her husband with the best of intention. But there is a but, and you'll be shocked at what happened between this couple. So this woman that lives in the UK, Brenda, she was having problems. Somebody almost defrauded her for the property that she bought in Nigeria. So this pastor became close to this woman. He was praying for her. When Pastor Ikechukwu and his wife Mona started having troubles in their relationship, the pastor then suggested to the wife that the wife should move out of the house and go and stay with the family. That was in 2002, 3 years after they had been married. And the first person Mommy Jill approached was her friend, who is now a friend, Brenda in the UK. Said, Brenda, me and my husband, we're having problem in our relationship. I don't know what to do, as most people will do. Brenda said, my sister in the Lord, I will be praying for you. I will be fasting so that God will reconcile you and your husband. There is nothing that God cannot do. Everything is going to be okay between your husband. Mona thought Brenda was praying on her side, praying for the relationship for them to reconcile their differences. But what she didn't know was that there is something that shock is about to happen to her. So Brenda eventually was still staying in the father's house, and the pastor then told Brenda later, after some time, that he has had revelation that the Almighty God, the omnipotent God, according to this pastor, he has seen a revelation. And the wife said, darling, what is this revelation that you have seen? And that was where pastor then said to the wife that God has told him, has given him a vision that he should marry this woman. He should marry the woman in the UK, Brenda. And the pastor said, what? The pastor didn't tell the wife later. The wife was already suspecting that the pastor something wasn't right. Before you know what was happening, the woman in the UK is now living in the house. They say nothing where Musa no go see for gate. For my non-Nigerian audience, ask any Nigerian person to interpret what nothing Musa no go see for gate for you. It just basically means that there is nothing in this world that you will not see. Just when you thought you've heard everything, you now hear something again that would make what you've heard before to be nothing. Let me know whether you believe that it is the God calling that this pastor had. Because he is not saying that the reason he decided to just tell the wife that he marry another woman when he's still legally married to his wife is because it is obeying God's will. They had a revelation when he was asleep, and something appeared to him and said, my son, Pastor Ikechukwu, go and marry Brenda, the lady in the UK, and leave your wife. Do you believe that is the calling of God? Let me know in the comment section whether you believe that God will tell a pastor who is legally married, who is not divorced, to go and marry another woman, and whilst him and his wife, they are still legally married. The wife heard one day that, you haven't heard? She said, what? They said, that chair, that special chair where you used to sit in church, that reverend chair that is verinated, that chair that is reserved for Mommy Gio, someone else is now sitting on that chair. The woman said, what? He said, my sister, we now have a new Mommy Gio that is now sitting on the chair. When the wife eventually went to the place, she was surprised that Brenda, whom she introduced to her husband, for her husband to mentor, to pray for, to guide, Brenda was sitting there as the new Mommy Gio. Sitting there, people now bow down to Brenda and say, Brenda, Mama Gio. The woman was shocked and said, what? The person that I introduced to my husband is not the one that is not the Mommy Gio. I cannot believe what I am saying. The pastor said to the wife, go away. This is the will of God. I am obeying God's will. This is the revelation. If I do not follow this will, according to the pastor, God is not going to be happy with him. So I'm only doing God's will. The woman was shocked. Do you believe that the pastor is doing God's will? And the church member themselves, they were confused because they still know that this pastor is still married. Some people have said these are signs of the end time, that when the end time is approaching, strange things will happen. Why some people are saying, no, this is not sign of the end time. All these things have been happening before, but social media is now exposing things that's not bringing it into the people's consciousness and public domain. And that is why people are not hearing of this. All these things have been happening before. Let me know whether you think that the pastor who marries somebody that was introduced to him by his wife And this pastor and his wife, they are still legally married as we speak today. Sadly, the pastor's wife is now in shock. As we are speaking now, pastor and his new wife, they are expecting a baby. This is why the wife said she has gone crazy. She cannot believe that the woman who came into her family's life as somebody that needed prayer is now expecting the pastor's child. Pastor said he hasn't committed any crime. He's just following the will of God. Let me know in the comment section whether you have any sympathy for the pastor's wife who introduced a friend to her husband, and that friend has now taken the husband from her, and that friend is now expecting a baby. Pastor said this is a blessing of the relationship, that he is blessed, that the wife didn't have any child, that this woman came in within a short space of time. Miracle baby is on the way. Do you agree with this pastor? How would you feel if this pastor was your pastor that you look up to for spiritual guidance? Let me know in the comment section whether you have any sympathy for this pastor or whether you will continue to attend that church. If you were a member of that church and you found out what your pastor did, as we speak today, the pastor is still not legally divorced with his wife and is expecting a baby with another woman who he has now married this woman. In fact, this pastor married the new woman without divorcing his wife. So people have said this pastor deserves to go to jail because he has committed bigamy. He did not divorce his wife and he went to hide and marry another woman. A lot of things are happening. One of the best lessons that we can learn from this story, a lot of us that go to church, some of us are better than the so-called man of God and Geo that we worship. We should focus on God, not on pastors. Don't forget to like and share this video. Share with anyone that you know